It started like any other Tuesday, or so I thought. I was juggling a lukewarm coffee and a mountain of emails when the courier arrived. He handed me a small, elegantly wrapped box. There was no name, just my address. My heart did a little flutter. A secret admirer at my age? I laughed to myself as I carefully peeled back the paper. Inside, nestled on a bed of black velvet, was a silver locket. It was beautiful antique with intricate floral engravings. But when I opened it, my world tilted on its axis. Inside, there wasn't a picture of me or my husband, Mark. There was a photo of Mark, smiling, with his arm around another woman. And on the other side, a tiny, professionally engraved inscription. Our forever, Sarah, Sarah. The name hit me like a physical blow. Sarah was my husband's new, young, bubbly colleague. The one he kept mentioning was so full of potential and a real go-getter. I'd met her once at a company dinner. She was polite, pretty, and completely unremarkable. Or so I had thought. My first instinct was pure, white-hot rage. I wanted to smash the locket, throw it against the wall, and watch it shatter into a million pieces, just like my trust. How could he? After 20 years, 2 children, a lifetime of shared dreams and struggles. I felt a wave of nausea. I sank into my chair, the locket cold and heavy in my palm. Who sent this? Was it Sarah, a cruel, deliberate act to blow up my life? Or was it a well-meaning friend trying to warn me? The ambiguity was torture. I spent the next few hours in a daze replaying every conversation, every late night at the office he'd claimed, every business trip. The puzzle pieces, once scattered and innocent, now clicked into a horrifying picture. The sudden interest in a new cologne, the way he guarded his phone, the emotional distance that had crept in, which I'd dismissed as work stress. I had been a fool. A blind, trusting fool. When Mark came home that evening, whistling as he walked through the door, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I was eerily calm. I simply walked up to him and placed the locket in his hand. The color drained from his face. The cheerful whistle died on his lips. He didn't need to ask. He knew. The silence that followed was the loudest sound I had ever heard. It was thick with betrayal, with years of lies. What followed were the worst weeks of my life. He confessed everything. It had been going on for 6 months. It started with lunches, then late-night drinks, and then the inevitable. He swore it was over, that it was a mistake, that he loved me. The usual script. I heard the words, but they were just noise. I felt nothing but a deep, hollow emptiness. Our home, once my sanctuary, felt like a stage for a tragic play. Our 2 teenage kids, bless their hearts, sensed the tension. The house was quiet, the air thick with unspoken questions. They knew something was terribly wrong. Mark moved into the guest room. We were living like strangers under the same roof. I thought about divorce every single minute of every day. I consulted a lawyer. I fantasized about a new life, one free from this suffocating pain. But then I'd look at my children, at the life we had built, and the decision felt impossible. Was it worth destroying everything over his weakness? Was our family just collateral damage in his midlife crisis? One evening, my daughter Maya, who was 16, came into my room. She saw me staring at the locket, which I kept on my nightstand like a morbid reminder. She sat beside me quiet for a long time. Then she said, "Mom, I know you're hurting. I know Dad messed up, badly, but I was looking at old photo albums today. All those pictures of us on vacation, at my soccer games at Christmas. We were so happy." Her voice trembled. "Can we ever be that happy again?" Her words were a gut punch. She wasn't taking his side. She was grieving the loss of our family, just as I was. It was the first time I saw the situation through someone else's eyes. This wasn't just my pain. It was our family's pain. The next day, I did something I never thought I would. I asked Mark if he would go to counseling with me. He agreed immediately, his eyes filled with a desperate kind of hope. The sessions were brutal. We dredged up years of resentment, of miscommunication, of taking each other for granted. I learned that his affair wasn't really about Sarah. It was about his own insecurities, about feeling old and invisible. It didn't excuse his actions, not even a little bit, but it helped me understand the why. He learned the true depth of the pain he had caused, the trust he had obliterated. It was a slow, painful process. There were days I walked out, convinced it was hopeless. But we kept showing up for us, for our kids. Slowly, tentatively, something began to shift. We started talking again, not just about the bills and the kids' schedules, but about our fears, our dreams, the things we had stopped sharing years ago. He started making an effort, not with grand gestures, but with small, consistent actions.
He left his job so he would never have to see Sarah again. He called when he said he would.
He looked at me when I spoke. He was present. One day, months into our therapy, I was cleaning out a drawer and I found the locket again. I picked it up, expecting to feel that familiar surge of anger and betrayal. But this time it was different. The anger was still there, a faint echo, but it was overshadowed by something else. I looked at the picture of him and Sarah, this ghost from our past, and I realized she held no more power over me. The inscription "Our Forever" was just a sad, empty promise. My forever was right here in this house, fighting to heal. My forever was laughing with my kids in the kitchen. My forever was rediscovering the man I had married, the flawed, imperfect man who was trying with every fiber of his being to earn back my trust. The locket wasn't a symbol of my broken marriage anymore. It was a catalyst. It was the horrible, painful, unexpected gift that forced us to confront the cracks in our foundation before the whole house came crumbling down. I walked into the living room where Mark was helping our son with his homework. I opened the locket, and with a small pair of pliers, I pried out the photo of him and Sarah. I tore it into tiny pieces. Then I took out the inscription. I went back to my old photo albums, the ones Maya had looked at. I found a picture from our early days of marriage, young and goofy and so in love. And I found a recent picture of our whole family, taken just a few weeks prior, a faint but genuine smile on all our faces. I carefully cut them to size and placed them inside the locket. I closed the clasp. It felt different now. Heavier, but in a good way, filled with a new kind of history. A story of pain, yes, but also a story of resilience, forgiveness, and the messy, complicated, beautiful work of putting a family back together. It's not a fairy tale ending. The scar is still there, and some days it aches. But we are stronger now, more honest, more intentional. That locket, sent with malice to destroy us, became the very thing that saved us. It was the unexpected gift that, in the end, united our family forever. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.